Let's shift gear from a normal conversation about computer reviews, benchmark software tutorials, and talk about light modifiers, specifically softbox, and one where you can set up and break down really easily. I have a few of them from SMDV that I think are really amazing products that you should consider. So let's find out what I think about this. This is ArtIsRight. Before we start, subscribe if you're new and hit on the bell icon so you'll be notified every time I upload cool new videos like this. I photograph many events and weddings, and being able to set up lighting really quickly is very important to me. For instance, after a wedding ceremony is usually time for family images, and I generally work in a finite time frame because the location needs us out by a certain time, or I'm only allotted so much time in the day of the wedding to photograph all those important family photos. For me, I like to use the best lighting possible, and after 2 decades of doing this, I always like to use an artificial light to fill in my family groups. This could be because I'm in a church and the lighting is darker, or I'm at a beach and everyone is backlight. So I want to capture everyone in the best light possible. So far, what I have been doing is using a Godox, for instance, AD200 or the AD200 Pro, like the one that I have here, using their light stand mount and also an umbrella as a light modifier. The reason why I'm using an umbrella so far is because this is super easy to set up. It collapses really quickly, and you can see right now what I have on a camera. What I usually do is bounce the light into the umbrella, and once I'm done is a quick pack up and go. That's how quick I can set up the umbrella. Now there's a couple of downsides to the umbrella that I don't really like. Number one being that the lighting is still much more specular than the softbox, so I want to use a softbox on location. Secondly, because the way how the umbrella is shaped, if you're outdoors and is windier, it acts like a sail really quickly, so someone have to hold on to the light stand the entire time so that things doesn't fall on the people or break the equipment in general. Now, I would love to use a softbox on location, and granted, I can use a simple square softbox or a rectangular one for that matter, and a speed ring. However, I have to assemble this, and even a square softbox takes time to assemble because not only do you have the speed ring, but you have to put the prongs in together. What I have, this is an Octabox. This is what I have been using so far. And because I also do these videos, I use these Octabox in my studio as well. At one point, I was using umbrella, but because I'm in a more permanent studio now, what I do is I leave this up permanently because I don't want to take them apart. It takes a lot of time. Well, that leads up to a lot of constraint. I mean, this has what, like 9 prongs at the very minimal? And not only that, you have to assemble them. So if I was at a wedding, for instance, I would have to bring an extra assistant, have them assemble this ahead of time. Not only that, right after we're done with the family shots, we have to pack up and go really quickly. Chances are they are going to need time to break everything down anyway. So that doesn't really quite work out in my workflow. Well, this is where SMDV comes in, and I just found out about their product. All of their softbox are purchased by me out of my own money. This is not sponsored by them or given to me in any way at all, but I genuinely think that this is a really great product, so we're going to have a look at that. Now, they make a couple variety of them. This is called their SpeedBox Flip, and there are 2 sizes that I have purchased. One of them is a 36-inch, the other one is a 44-inch. What I am going to do is open up the 36-inch one. So we're going to do unboxing. We're going to do a quick setup video to show you what this is like, and you'll be amazed by what it can do. It comes in this really nice Velcro carrying case. And because this is my first time opening it up, it's still in the plastic bag, as you see. Let's take this out. This overall is not that much bigger than my umbrella that I currently have. To set up this softbox or speedbox is extremely easy. For instance, you will see that I have this ring in my hand right now. This ring is like the plastic on this side, although on the other side it is metal and there is a metal latch and everything. It holds on together really well. What I would simply do is just untie the Velcro that holds it together, expand the 2 sides out just a little bit as you're seeing now, and I would just grab this flip side to it, bring it up to the other side, put a little pressure on it, and it would just pretty much like that, snap in place. Now I have a quick 36-inch or 44-inch Octabox that I can use on location right away. This can just go and mount onto the light. We're going to talk about the mount in just a second, but once I'm done, for instance, with the softbox and I'm ready to go or move on, what I would just simply do is there is a latch, push on that latch, and pretty much this whole thing release, collapse down just like so. This is a very clever design that allows me to move in and out of location really quickly without spending a lot of time putting the prongs into the light, and I also get this nice diffusion light that comes with it. The one thing to note is that this white diffusion is sewed onto the softbox, although I am okay with that. If you prefer one that is Velcro that you can remove, this is not something to consider, but most of the time if I'm on location, I don't have the time to assemble every single piece anyway, so this is something that works really well for me. Now to mount this onto the light itself, what you need is an adapter ring, and they have designed this extremely clever, so you're not just buying this for one specific light. You can use this with any light, and you just have to get what they call their version of speed ring. What you simply do to change this thing out is that on the very bottom there is a latch there that says change adapter. You would just push it over, flip it up, and when you order the softbox, they ask you what light you're going to use this with. For instance, I use Octabox, which uses bow and mount, and they just sent you the speed ring. You just open it up, slide that in, close it, just latch it down, and you're done. You're ready to go. Now, if you use, for instance, another type of lighting, let's say you don't use something that uses Bowen, you can just quickly change out this speed ring to another type of lighting that you may have, or the speed ring for that other type of light, which I think works really great. For me, I'm just going to stick this on and leave it like so. Now you may wonder, how do I use this, for instance, with like the AD200? So I'll show this to you on two Godox light. Now I'm just going to quickly set this up again, and I'll put this down for just a second. We're going to bring a light stand in. And for this, what I would simply do is get what they call a speed bracket. Obviously, there are many brands that make these. Godox makes one as well. I'm using this one from SMDV. Again, it works out really great. It comes with all these parts, and you have this that you can mount onto the back of the stand that pretty much allows you to control the light, for instance, when it's up on the stand. So once you have the softbox and everything mount to it, you can simply just grab this and move it around, control the angles, move it up and down, and so forth. Now, this speed bracket, like I said, many of them makes it. Godox makes one themselves. Flashpoint also has one, which is technically just Godox. But what you would simply do with this is just take an AD200. And the reason why I have two AD200 on the table is because if you use a one, for instance, with like the round head, this is not going to work with this bracket. There may be other ones that work, but I find that this, flat head works out really well. So I would just simply insert that in and close this little tie thing down at the very top. Pretty much this is in there tight now, and that's pretty much it. You can see this is my light in there at the very front. This is what it looks like on the side, and that's the way how I can do it. So simply enough, what I would do is take the softbox, line it up to the groove, and just simply lock it in place. And now I have this light modifier. And if I loosen this up a little bit, I can control the angle using this boom, which I think works out really well. Now, if I want to take this out, simply enough, I just press onto this latch onto the side. And we're just going to rotate this out, just like so. And now I have released the softbox from the light. Simply enough, if I'm done with this, I want to go on location, I would just collapse this down. So I would just unlock, and now I'm ready to go. Now on the 44-inch softbox, I also got the one that comes with an egg crate. So their egg crate is all like hand sewn, and it definitely costs a lot more, but it is pretty good. And it's just Velcroing onto the outside of a softbox. I'm not going to pop up the 44-inch one to show you because it's very similar in principle. It's just much larger, and I am actually using the 44-inch one as my key light right now. What I also like using these in the studio is that I don't need to leave the softbox up because I don't want to spend the time setting it up. I just simply collapse it down, put it in a corner somewhere. When I'm ready to use it again, I just prop it up. It saves me a lot of space in the studio too. Not only is it fast on location, but there's also space-saving capabilities that comes with it. Now, the other light I'm going to show you this with is another Godox one, and it is the Explorer 600 or the AD600. This is like the big kahuna right there. What you have to do is remove the reflector first. So I'm going to press that to remove the reflector, exposing the bulb. And this is where the Bowen mount would lie. And this is where you would mount the SMDV softbox on it. So I'll put this on a light stand. Obviously, this doesn't have a battery. I'm just doing this as a demonstration right now. Set up a softbox, super quick and easy. Bring it up, pull the flip side over, push, and just like that, it already latched in, ready to go. What I would do now is just bring this onto the light, lock it in, and I have my lighting set up ready to go. Now, the other thing I also like about the shape of this softbox in general is that, yes, will it catch wind? Yes, absolutely. But I think because the fact that the front is covered, it's going to deflect more wind than catch it like an umbrella, so it will act less like a sail. Granted, in very strong winds, somebody will probably still have to hold the light stand down so that it doesn't fall or anything like that. But nonetheless, I still think it's way more aerodynamic than the umbrella that I have used before. Now, to break this down, simply enough, just unlatch the speed ring from the light, like so. Pull it up, and when I'm ready to go, just simply push that, boom. The softbox collapsed. Now I can push this into my bag, get in a car, and move on to the next location. It is that quick. So if you haven't seen our softbox before, I highly recommend checking them out. So far, I really love what I can do. It saves a lot of space. It saves me a lot of time. All of these are really great, and it allows me to use a softbox on location, which I've been wanting to do for a very long time. I will leave a link to their website in the description below, and also the US distribution for SMDV. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them below as well. Give this video a like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you're new, and in art we trust.